Venezuela, sir, the State Department has put out this bounty on Nicolas Maduro. The administration took out that boat of narco traffickers, I believe, last week. Are you any closer to capturing him?
Well, first of all, there's no bounty on Nicolas Maduro. What it is a reward for an indicted person. Here's what people forget. Okay, Nicolas Maduro was indicted by the Southern District of New York. A grand jury returned an indictment. They read the evidence, they saw the evidence, they returned an indictment, not just against him personally, but against a network of people in that country who use the apparatus of what they claim to be a government to conduct drug trafficking operations against the United States. So there's a reward for his capture, and it's out there, and it's available, and it was increased. That's what that's a consequence of. In addition to that...
Are you not concerned, sir, that it gives the impression of advocating for some kind of regime change or pushing for that?
But the thing is, we don't. Not only do we not recognize him, 50-something countries around the world do not recognize Nicolas Maduro as the rightful president. He's not the president of Venezuela. That's a title he's given himself, and that's not just us saying it. That was, by the way, that was the policy of the Biden administration, and that was the policy of the first Trump administration, and that's the policy of 50-something countries, including multiple countries in the region, do not recognize him as the president of that country. What he is someone who's empowered himself of some of the instruments of government and are using that to operate a drug cartel from Venezuelan territory. Much of that drugs aimed at reaching the United States. So we're not going to have a cartel operating or masquerading as a government operating in our own hemisphere. He's indicted. He's a fugitive of American justice. There's a reward out for his capture. And by the way, related to that, the President of the United States made clear that he's not going to allow cartels, that cartel or any other cartel, to operate with impunity in our hemisphere and send drugs towards the United States. And he's going to use the U.S. military and all the elements of American power to target cartels who are targeting America.
Are you concerned at all about the optic that the Trump administration is meddling in the internal affairs of a sovereign country, especially in the Western Hemisphere where there's a history of...
But when you traffic drugs into the United States, you're meddling into the internal affairs of America. When you are pushing drugs towards the United States of America, you are a direct threat to the national security and the national interest of the United States. And that's what we're addressing here.
What about reporting, sir, that boat with the drug traffickers had turned around at the point which it was struck?
Well, I don't know where those reports are coming from. I don't even know if that's accurate. But I can tell you that irrespective, there's a network. And the way this network runs is speedboats with multiple 350 horsepower engines, 4 of them. They carry drugs to somewhere in the Caribbean. From there, they jump to Puerto Rico. And from Puerto Rico, obviously now they're in the United States. They cross the border. So this is the network, the route that they run. We have 100% fidelity and certainty that that boat was involved in that trafficking of those drugs that ultimately were destined to reach the United States of America. And the President's made clear, interdiction alone is not going to stop these drug traffickers. They don't mind losing 2% or 3% of their shipments. They've already sort of baked that into their economic plan. What needs to start happening is some of these boats need to get blown up. Some of these boats need to be not just intercepted, but stopped. No matter what direction they plan to head, we can't live in a world where all of a sudden they do a U-turn and so we can't touch them anymore. And I'll tell you something, since we did that, the number of boats heading towards the United States suddenly dropped dramatically. Now maybe that won't be sustained or continued, but the President's made clear, we are not going to continue to allow these cartels to flood the United States with drugs, be it through the water or through land.